We welcome you all, our esteemed listeners to this and viewers to this week's community show. On this show, we talk about matters pertaining to the community. And we believe that through this show, many things will change, many things will get better. As you have heard, and as many people have, pointed out elsewhere, Uganda suffered a great loss, tragedy on the night, on the Friday night. It must have been 17th, to 18th, where many people lost their lives in an attack on a secondary school in the western part of Uganda, in a district called Kasese. Kasese neighbors the volatile part of Congo, that is Eastern Congo, a bit of Eastern Congo. And there have been different theories, there have been different groups that have been blamed on this. Official account from the Ministry of Education points that it could have been as a result of wrangles, school wrangles or on ownership. Sources in the Ministry of Defense, military, and sources in the military continue to put it to the ADF. ADF is a rebel group that has for a long time been troubling Uganda with attacks, and Uganda is currently in a military operation in the eastern part of Congo to uproot the rebel group. So to help us understand what happened, to help us understand what the picture is in that region, in that area, to help us understand what could be the problem behind these continuous attacks, I'm joined by people who are based in Kasese, the part that is in the news, the part that was affected. I'm joined by these people who are there. And I'll ask each one to introduce themselves, and then we shall begin with the conversation. I'll begin with Chris, Joachim, then Gladys, in that order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Hello, viewers. Hello, everyone. I'm called Wambale Crispus Mavenya from Kasese, and I am the District Youth Councillor for Kasese. Nice to be on the show.
Yes, as I earlier said, my name is Wambale Joachim, and I'm a journalist working with one of the media houses we have in Kasese, Renzori TV, as a presenter, as a reporter. And I'm among those people who come directly from Bwera, where the incident happened.
Thank you very much. Gladys?
Hello viewers, I'm by the names of Gladys Kansime. I work with Kasese Guide Radio as a presenter at the same time as a news reader. Okay,
thank you very much. I will, let's begin with Joachim. Joachim, you say you are, you hail from where the incident happened. Please paint for us a picture. Tell us what really happened on that fateful night.
What I can say about that fateful night was like at around 11:30, one of our neighbors were in a WhatsApp group and was like, "You people in Bwera, we are not safe. We are hearing gunshots," and everyone took it slightly. But for us who grew up from Bwera, we knew Bwera being neighbored by Congo, anything is possible. Because a week back, something happened in Congo, just a few meters from from Uganda where this happened, and ADF killed people in Lubiriha. So of course we became so suspicious. We thought otherwise, and which came as a reality. And 1 hour after that woman's call, people had to gather and know what has really happened. And of course, people were killed and abducted. Though speculations are ongoing, people don't know what exactly happened. They be suspecting either ADF or school management. There was issues with the management, like they had come for auditing, and the day before, then people were killed the next day. So we left it for security to get to the root of what happened, but we are yet to find out through my boss, Crispus Mavunya, who deals inside with the government officials, to tell us more of what happened and how far security is taking this, to give us exactly what could have happened. Is it ADF? Yes, possibility of ADF is there, because we are surrounded by, we are neighbor to Congo. It's just few meters, like one and a half kilometer or 2 kilometers, crossing that river Lubiriha, that crosses Uganda and that divides Uganda and Congo. So it's possible for ADF, and still it is possible for other speculations that are coming in.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Of course, this brings us to the councillor, the youth councillor in the district of Kasese, and that is Chris Mavunya. Of course, you are in a position of leadership in that district, and you, in one or the other, is expected to have quite some information. You could, give us a sense of what really happened, the extent to which it happened, and the extent of damage. As an update, and what would you attribute this attack to? Over to you, Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Once again, I'm called Chris. Well, on that fateful day, just to correct you a bit, the incident happened on Thursday night as it was approaching Friday morning. So that was on Thursday, 11:30, and the attackers were there up to around more than 1 hour. So to that Friday morning at around 12 a.m. Well, they reached the school, and that was not the target school that they were targeting. They were targeting another school called the Buera Secondary, because it has a lot of students, over 700. However, the person who was directing them, I think, had spent quite some years without reaching Buera, so he was a bit confused of the locality of that target school, so they ended up targeting another school that had not more than 100 students, because it's still a new school. So they first entered the girls' dormitory. The girls were just shot, butchered. And then when they approached the boys' dormitory, the boys refused to open because they had had some bullets in the girls' dormitory. So they refused to open, and that is when they threw a bomb there, and the dormitory got burnt. So when they first threw the first bomb there, as it was getting burnt, others confined themselves in a certain corner, so they threw the second bomb. And when they threw the second bomb, one of the students caught it and threw it back to another scene. So that is how we managed to get a very few survivors and others who were abducted, because those who survived, when those guys entered there after the fire had caught down, others escaped and they had to go with others. However, 3 have come back. And also in the neighborhood, they managed to abduct around 5. So this attack was attributed to Allied Democratic Forces called ADF. And this is not the first time they're attacking Kasese. They were here in the late 90s, and they also killed a lot of people. So they are based in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the eastern parts. And their leader is called Jamir Mukuru, who is currently detained in Luzera prison because he was arrested in Tanzania some few years ago, around 3-4 years ago. So his forces are still there. They normally send threatening messages through social media that they are coming back. And basically for them, they are using Islam, that whoever who's not an Islam, in the local language, they call him a mkafiri, a pagan. Some doesn't believe in any godly thing. So apparently, there are some bodies which were burnt beyond recognition. Those were taken to Buhinga Hospital for DNA tests to their parents. And those that were somehow recognized were given to the parents or the family members to go and bury. So security is still tight. The UPDF is making patrols all over, and we hope they are doing their very best. So far, that's the scenario you can give that happened on that fateful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I want now to bring in Gladys. Gladys, Chris hasn't, has explained what happened and given and painted for us a clear picture. You are a journalist who reads news and also reports. Could you tell us the extent of the damage? How many students were killed? How many were abducted? We heard that there were girls who were, that girls also attacked. How many girls, were victims of this senseless attack, and how many community members, but also how many people have been able to, how many survivors were there and how many students returned to their family, or how many bodies also have been recovered. This, Joachim, you can also, answer that. Oh, Gladys is back. Yes, Gladys.
Moderator, my network is not okay. We have some rain around here in Kasese, but according to what we had on that fateful day, by now, I'm not yet conversant of how many girls were attacked, all those ones that had problems during the attack of the ADF at the secondary school. But when you go and see and check around, of course, if you first went in the dormitories, girls, automatically, girls are very, very much hacked to death more than the boys. If they started in the girls' dormitory, then there it becomes a hard thing to say. When you see girls, how weak they are, when you see how they are weak in defending themselves, automatically it becomes a big problem, and it is really hurting everyone. Why the school? Why the school? Because these are students who didn't know about anything, who were green about anything that would take place concerning security. So when you see the situation around, everyone is really, really still shocked even now. And when we see here, they are telling us the number would be escalated. They're telling us there were 19, but I think the confirmation will be done after when the DNA is already done. Because by now we don't know how many bodies were taken to Fort Portal, those ones who were burnt beyond recognition. We don't know how many girls are there, how many boys, the neighbors around, because the neighbors were also attacked. But by now, let's hope everything will be okay.
Sorry that we have lost Gladys. Joachim, you can pick it up from where she has left.
Okay. As you are saying, really, I'm not so conversant with the number of ladies who were killed and abducted, but what I know about the total number of people that are dead now, by yesterday it was 43. The other day, the number keeps on increasing because they had casualties that went in the hospital, and some of them are dying. So the number now, as we stand, is 43. And I'm not so sure of how many girls were. First and foremost, I'm not sure of how many people are in that hostel. But I'm sure by the end of this week, we shall have collected all the information to know how many people were abducted, both male and female. Then how many are in the hospital, and we divide the number. We subtract the number of those people dead. Then we know how many were abducted and how many survived. But so far, the people that are in the news that survived are three boys and one girl. They had gone out in a club, and this incident happened when they were not there. There is also a rumor that even these people they abducted, some of them started dying on the way. Though the good news, the good side of it, and among the people that were abducted, 3 boys managed to escape from those people, and they came back home.
Okay. There is, I mean, we've also seen NTV ran a story of a young boy who narrated how he survived, that he was in the dormitory and had to seek shelter and stand on the roof, and at some point even smudge himself with the blood of his deceased friends so that the rebels think he has died. Is he among the 3 you say survived?
No. Yeah, he's not among the 3. Actually, he's that same guy Chris was talking about. That guy, when these ADF people, when these attackers came, they started with the girls. So these boys became suspicious. They started hearing gunshots. They locked their room, and they didn't allow anyone to come in. But because these guys had come to kill, they had to shoot at the window and broke the glasses. They tried to break the door and it failed. What the attackers did, they picked a bomb and threw it in the dormitory. And with the idea of the commandos people watched. This boy had watched it somewhere. He tried as much as he could. He got a key and locked the bomb to stop it from blasting. And from there, that's how he hid himself in a sailing. So all this happened when he's hiding, not until these guys managed and broke the door. They threw another bomb that burnt him on the other side, but he was hiding for himself. Then there is this other boy who pretended to have died, and he hid himself in those dead bodies. So Kwegamba, he used that knowledge he has seen in these videos, in these movies, and he acted as a movie star. That's how he survived.
Indeed, quite gruesome descriptions there. Yeah. It's unfortunate, and it's quite heavy, hearing that, and like that these young people are the victims of such a senseless act. I want to come to you, Chris. There's of course been also a story that, and you stated it, that the intention was the bigger school, and then they ended up in this small school. How many students were in that school? In this school they attacked?
Thank you very much. According to the director of the school, he says the students were 63 in number. The boarding ones were 61 and 2 the scholars. So when the director came, okay, by press time when that incident happened, the confirmed dead bodies were 37 of the students and 5 of the neighbors in the neighborhood who were not students. And that made it a total number of 42. However, by yesterday, 1 student who was admitted in the injured ones also died yesterday. So the number brings us to 43. So,
I mean, yeah, thank you. It's quite chilling to hear that almost the entire school was attacked. There is literally, like you say, only a few survived. We're not even sure. Now it stands as if it's only 2 who can be accounted for without, maybe still alive, and maybe they're not having fatal wounds, but it's sad to see that an entire school can be wiped, out in this senseless act. But then we also have to ask the hard questions, and yeah, Chris, this will still come to you. Where could the gap have been? Already we understand that this is not the first time Kasese has been attacked. This is not the first time that Kasese is experiencing such horrific events, but also this time is coincidental in the same week that that the Omsinga had been released and all the others had been returned to Kasese. We would have expected still security to be quite high in the district, considering that they had also just brought back high-profile people. Your security would be quite stronger in the district, but also because it's a border district, and we know that that area has been prone to attacks. 1998, the same, I think, group attacked a school, and we know that they, like schools, rebels, terrorists, or whatever, they can be called. do attack schools many times. Where could the gaps have been? And who should give us those hard answers?
Well, thank you. Well, I can say the gaps partly should be blamed on three sectors: our security, the community, and okay, basically those are security and the community. One, I want to bring in the security is that a week before the attack, ADF had already attacked near the Bwera Congo border that killed there one woman. You know, there is a market there across the border. So we all knew how they are now near the border. So expected that security is going to be intense. And Kasese being a volatile district at the border, we have very many barracks across the district, quite many. They should be coming to around 30. So expected security to be vigilant. And now, when I come where to blame the community is that where as a community, we've not done a lot of community policing. You see why I want to bring that when LRA was in the north, these Teso people formed a group called the Arrow Boys, whereby themselves had to take it upon themselves to defeat LRA, not to enter their region. So here, the president has always been warning us that when you see a new face that you're suspecting, go and inform the LOC1 so that they know. That's the community policing, I mean. And when we had already witnessed that attack on the border, automatically these guys always have collaborators within ourselves. That is how they drop in. And you see they are very mountainous guys since they live in the mountains, and that border, the whole of the Kasese border at the Congo, it is separated with mountains. So they normally climb those mountains, and since they have collaborators within ourselves, we are the ones who direct them. So those are the questions to me, that is how I can answer them. And now you see, even when the attack happened, it was nearby a certain police station, just like 800 meters. But then security came after like 1 hour when the students were already down. So, and since we had already spent some time without having these attacks, maybe some of them had become reluctant. They're not used to wars. So basically, to me as a leader, that is why I can throw it back.
Thank you very much. I want to bring in another person who has just joined us, Joachim Kule. You are a human rights defender, and I want to ask, what do you think should be done by the community, by the people, by the government to ensure that things of this nature do not happen?
Thanks, okay. Thanks, our moderator, Mr. Alex Martin. I'm so much humbled to be on this talk show. And first of all, I'd love to commiserate with the families and the entire Rensoro region for having lost our dear ones. This is almost the third of its kind for this kind of incident to happen since 1995. I mean 1996, during the Nalu rebellion. Our children at the seminary were taken during that rebellion, and in Kichwampa technical, students also were taken. I think as a community, we need to be so much vigilant. Like my fellow panelists have said, we happen to be on the border. And for a long time, the eastern part of Congo has been having a lot of rebellions, a lot of war. Just like 2 weeks before, a woman has just been killed on the border. And even before that, we've seen our community in a place called Choa. One of the suspected rebels was arrested with his 4 other colleagues and taken to the army barracks for interrogation, I guess. So as a community, we need to exercise a lot of vigilance and report whoever we see, whoever looks to be suspicious to us. I'm very happy with the people of Kasese. Immediately after the incident, after the children had died in Lubiriha, the border, we exercised a lot of vigilance, and most of the people whom we suspected to be bad people were arrested. And we could arrest them, people could arrest them, the community members, right away from the LOC1, we could arrest them and then we take them to the police. So now it would be the police to screen and see who is the bad person and who is the good person. So I think I need again, once again, to call upon the government to make sure that there is a lot of security border, owing to the fact that this district is near the border. It poses a very big threat to the people near the border, especially Kasese and Bundubujo, by the way, because if you have been reading the news, early this year, some rebels were killed in Bundubujo, in Toroko district, about 9-10 of them, they were killed. So we people on the border, we face a lot of threats, security threat, but I think we are the ones who can wipe it, who can wipe these rebels from within us. Some of the people who are doing these dubious things are our own children. People, like I said, who have been staying in Kasese here, and then they cross to Congo, and then they do these terrorist activities. But then they come again within us, like that example I have given, the man who was arrested in Choa. This was an indigenous person here. He came and stayed here, and due to the vigilance of the community members, they had to call the security forces to come and arrest him. So again, I'd love to call upon us all. We are not going to wait for the people from Kampala to come and rescue us. The security starts with me. It starts with my neighbor. It must be within us. It's only us who can protect our community. It's only us who can protect each other. If we are very faster at responding to such incidents, like what happened in Lubiriha, according to the information we got, these people started terrorizing the school very early. It was early. And I believe if the community members had reported very faster to the security apparatus, at least they would have responded in time and then avert the situation. So I think as community members, we need to be at the lookout of any bad element and ensure we report to the police. Immediately after the attack, some of the people who we believe would have been rebels. So I think we need to move on with that spirit, assuring that whoever looks new, whoever looks to be a suspect, we need to report them to the police. We need to report them to the nearby security personnel. We have the GISOs right away from the sub-county. We have the GISO, we have the LOC1. So I think we need to use these authorities to make sure that we combat the situation that we are in.
Thanks very much, Jock.
I beg to
Thank you very much, and I hope in those efforts of community vigilance, there is indeed no abuse of law and abuse of process, and we hope it does not involve matters such as mob justice. We hope due process can be followed, and yeah, so that we do not again see people being hacked by the mob on suspicion, but rather people should, be asked to identify themselves, and also each one knowing about the other, so that we minimize any loss or any tragedy. I want to, please cool mute your mic. I want to now bring in Gladys. Gladys, how are the communities perceiving this? How has this tragedy impacted on the community?
Okay, my point was the community is in panic. Even now, as I say, the neighboring from they're not sleeping, they're still fearing. They still have that fear, like anything else.
All right.
And now, the leader, are you getting me? I was expressing that the community is in fear right now as we talk.
Okay. Gladys, we shall get back to you. The network seems to be a big challenge. Now I want, as we wrap up, just bring in
members that they are not even going outside.
Yes, we're going to bring you Bombarded, Joachim. Again, you can also build on what Gladys was saying. How is this impacting on the community? How is this impacting on the trade in the community, and the different activities?
As Gladys has said, her network is breaking, but she's saying the community is living in fear. Like even those people around that place where the incident happened, most of them are not sleeping in their houses. They go during the time, do their domestic work, and they end up sleeping far away from their homes in fear of what might happen that night. Because if this happened when we have like around 4 barracks surrounding that area, there is one barracks in Chitrol, in Chiraro. There is one barracks just 1.5 kilometers near the school where the incident happened. There is one barracks in Bwera town, actually it is in Rusese. So the security, I'm a victim of 1996 war that erupted still that side. So I know how people that side have hanging huts. They are now sleeping in bushes. Myself, I've slept in a bush before because of ADF. So I know the situation is not as well as it was before. You see, even here, even us in Kasese, at least 80 kilometers far away from Bwera, where the incident happened, we are still living in fear. Then what about those people that are near the border? Automatically, business is now low, and people are not doing their activities as they used to do them. We call upon security to make sure they ensure security to these people staying around those areas, and for them to be safe. First and foremost, Alex, we are in inflation. Business is down. People don't have money, and now when things like this come in, we are becoming poorer. People will not be able to pursue their businesses as they have been doing them. People will not be able to dig. They will fear, because those people of those sides, they dig near the river banks of Lubiriha, and we suspect it's where those guys are passed to enter the school, because that school is just a few meters to the river bank, and it's the river that divides Uganda and Congo. What we can say is just those guys
those guys should just should ensure us security for us to do our daily activities and making sure they assure us. Because if you have a police station in customs, actually it is a barracks. It's a barracks, police barracks. You have a barracks in Kamukumbi. You have a barracks in you have a barracks in Chiraru, you have a barracks in Rusese, and something of this kind happens, what do you expect? Therefore, people will still live in fear till we are sure that everything is in control now. But I still blame security for being negligent. Like, I still wonder how.
Thank you very much, Joachim, for that. And indeed, we commiserate with you. We understand such events also, you know, in one or the other, bring back memories to you, but also, yeah, indeed, also affect your family. Now, lastly, Chris, of course, you can, you know, tell us how much the community is impacted. We understand, of course, by now, inevitably, the tourists have reduced for sure. Tourists have had to cancel their bookings, and we know Kasese is a tourist destination for many reasons. Among others, it is a host to the Queen Elizabeth National Park, but also Kasese has Mountain Rwenzori, which is the highest mountain in Uganda, but also one of the highest mountains in Africa. So it's a tourist destination, and we also understand that that is impacting on that. And already, you know, we had weeks before, the US State Department had warned tourists about, you know, and all their citizens traveling to Uganda, for among other reasons, that there is terrorist threats. And just a few days after that, that tragedy struck. So in your closing remarks, would you reassure people? Is it possible to reassure people that Kasese is safe and they shouldn't fear to come and engage? Or you would have reservations? And what would be your closing remarks as a leader who is in that area, you know?
Well, I'll try to be quick. First of all, this absurd incident has impacted most especially on trade and tourism. Kasese is the toppest district in Uganda that receives a lot of tourists every year, because there are a lot of tourism sites. We have 2 national parks, we have lakes, we have the mountains, we have the highest peak called Margarita, which has snow. We have forests, we have hot springs, so quite many. And we're supposed to have a festival, a marathon, a few months from now, which we had last year, that attracted very many people from outside countries. But we are in fear that we may not attract people that we need. Kasese, being a border district, people trade day and night. Now, those who trade at night, like happening places, bars, clubs, those on the side, people are fearing to attend them because these guys normally attack crowded places. For example, it has also impacted on markets. We have markets that happen like every day, whereby you find traders come from as far as Bushenyi, Fort Portal, Barara to come and trade. Now they have also reduced, they are in fear also. Psychologically, it has impacted on the lives of people living in fear. Like Joachim has said, the person is not sleeping at his home. And you see others who have students or pupils in the neighboring schools. I think they have stopped them from going there because we got those reports. Some people are not going to school because of fear. You can see the psychological torture that the director of that school has got when the school began this year, and now just in the second term. I don't know, has made losses. Parents who no longer take care, as in, he's also in a trauma. So basically it has impacted on us like that. And well, situational dynamics are a bit complex. I may not be in position to assure the people whether the region is safe or not safe. That one, we always leave it for the security operatives to communicate that. I may say it is safe and people believe me, but this very night the attackers may say it is not safe, and yet we are safe. So that one I reserve it for the security. And then in my closing remarks, I'd request the people of Kasese, and most especially other neighboring districts at the border like Bundebojo, one, let's be the change that we need. If we no longer need insecurity to be in our region, let us with the community also, as the Uganda says, once you detect somebody you don't understand or any other thing, just to report to the nearby authority and they take note. I will also request our security to be beefed up and they be vigilant, because we base on them and we rely on them. I'll request my other fellow politicians, because I've got other politicians who are trying to mislead the public, most especially those from opposition, trying to cling this attack on maybe other things, and which may trigger the people to act in dubious ways. So also request the public to always shun any information that is not pro-development and pro-peace. And lastly, let us be vigilant on our own. So I request us to remain calm, like they have said, and you may find our region becomes a better place to stay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And, you know, at that juncture, we would like to come to a close of this show. We thank everyone that has been a part of this. Our conversationists, Gladys, Joki, Mkule, and Chris. It's been a great pleasure hosting you. We really call upon all the stakeholders' security to give the security of people, of Ugandans, primacy. For long, the president of Uganda, Mr. Museveni, has been seen as a person who is very strong on security, who has built a strong army. But with these attacks, it does not seem so. It seems that Uganda is still a very fragile state and very insecurity. So we also call upon the international partners to support Uganda in fighting terrorism and rebel activity. What affects us in Uganda affects everyone. You know, we shouldn't also feel alone. We should feel up as a part of the global community. We wish the quick recovery for Nancy Bunz from the attack. We also hope that those ones who are abducted are returned, and we hope we pray for the military operation to return the people home to their families. We extend our sympathies to the families and the community for these heinous acts that were carried by their loved ones, and constructively on them too, because what affects the loved ones affects them too. And we commiserate with all the leadership of Kasese. And indeed, we hope this does not happen again and it will be made a priority. I thank you. We thank Center of Institutional Governance and Civic. I've been Martin. I am Martin, and I've been your host. I wish you a great time.